What is going on, y'all? It's your boy Timster918, and I am here to tell y'all about my worst day at FedEx, y'all. In these previous videos, oh yeah, make sure to hit those buttons, like those like and sub buttons down below, or I'm gonna rip your nipples off and eat them as pepperoni. But y'all, so let me tell y'all, man, I've had a lot of shit days at FedEx, right? And haven't even been there that long. And I think a lot of people can attest to this. I actually made a Reddit post about it. That shit blew up. I just asked a whole bunch of people what their worst day was. But man, let me tell you. So Thursday, right? Last Thursday. Let me start this off by saying that normally the busiest days, at least for our station and our DSP or contractor, is Monday and Wednesday. Those are normally the heaviest days. So in my mind, I think to myself, okay, when I get through Monday and when I get through Wednesday, I'm good. It should be smooth sailing. I get a break on Tuesday because it's a lot lighter and I get to relax my body, rest my body a little bit. I'm barely getting out the truck as much, right? I don't have as many heavy packages and as many stops in general. I can get home earlier, right? And then, Wednesday is going to be heavy, but then Thursday and Friday should be good. And then I'm off for Saturday, Sunday. So, Wednesday in and of itself was crazy. Last Wednesday, right? I get to the side of the truck, and every time, you pull up to your truck for the day, right? There's always going to be ICs on the side. And what ICs are they're just overflow. They're just huge packages that are like, either too big or heavy for the package handlers to lift up, or they just didn't feel like lifting them up because they know you're gonna get them when you come in to finish organizing your truck and shit. And I always go to the left and I peek to see how many ICs I had before I actually get in the truck and start organizing it and all the other stuff. And I saw that there was like 30 or 40 fucking ICs, y'all, on Wednesday. And like my heart dropped because I was like, bruh, I knew Wednesday was going to be bullshit, but come on, right? So, and then when I say, like I say, ICs, I'm talking stoves, I'm talking ovens, I'm talking engine blocks, man. Fucking, one thing you notice too, which I didn't know, I'm not a huge car guy. But I thought most people ordered their car parts or just bought them straight up from dealers or some shit, or that they bought it from, I don't know, AutoZone or something. But nah, motherfuckers be ordering axles and suspensions and all this other crazy shit, bolts and all this stuff. And yeah, so I had sofas, I had mattresses, bed frames, refrigerators, freezers, and safes, like actual safes, like the safes you see in the cartoons, man. I had safes on the damn truck. Things that should be being delivered by freight or things that should be delivered by, I don't know, other people. But that was Wednesday, right? And, Wednesday, like I said, it was heavy, but it wasn't like it was just heavy on ICs, but like for the most part, like the truck wasn't like full to the point where I couldn't like get out of the way and like get certain shit. But Thursday, y'all, holy Jesus, it gives me PTSD just thinking about it. So I go in, right? And from the very beginning of the day, I know the shit's gonna be fucked. I walk in, I look to the left of the truck, and there's like 50 fucking ICs. This is way more than anybody in our DSP has. Like, as I'm walking, because my truck that I'm doing, like the route that I'm doing, is the last truck on the line. So I get to walk by everybody else's truck first. And I'm just always, as I'm walking, I'm looking at everybody else's ICs on the side of their truck. So I'm like, okay, that person's heavy. Damn, I hate to be that person today. Oh man, that person only has like 5 big packages. Okay, the rest are small. It should be an easy day for him. And I get to my fucking truck on Thursday, and there are 50 fucking big ass boxes. And when I say big, I'm talking big boxes and long boxes, like boxes that even if you put on the ground and you try to slide it into the truck, it can barely fit in. And I mean, they're not like the biggest trucks, but they're like P700, P800s and shit like that. It's still a really decent sized truck. And like these ICs are so damn big that like they're going from the front of the truck all the way to the back. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, are you shitting me? And when I get into the truck, before I even start messing with the shit on the side, I notice that the truck is packed. Like, there is no space or no room for me to rearrange the ICs that are on the side that I have to put in the truck now. So I'm legit. And like the way that I don't know who did it. I don't know who what package handler did it, but most of the time, like they're on point. Like they're pretty good. The specific person who's doing my truck is good. But whoever did that shit on Thursday was a demon straight out of the eighth circle of hell. I'm talking Hades himself. Like I don't understand. They would put small packages at the bottom and put big packages on top of the small. The organization, like, you know how you get into your truck and you play Tetris, and of course, like, smaller things go on top of big boxes, and you push the big boxes all the way to the left or to the right so you have more space. Like, they just did none of that shit. They were just tossing shit everywhere, and the racks or shelves are ordered like by numbers, and on at least with FedEx, they call it SID numbers. And the SID numbers go from like 1,000 to 1,500, 2,000, 2,500, 3,000, 3,500, all the way to, 8,000s. And like that's how you identify the package. Like, you go on the map view, or you go on your scanner, you go to an address, and it'll tell you the SID number is like 1,520 or whatever. You find that package, shit, you find that package, and it should be in your ones. You find whatever the sticker that says 1520, that's your package for that address, right? It was everywhere. Like my SID numbers, I had ones where my sevens were. Ones are at the front of the truck. Sevens are all the way at the back. I had fives where my twos should be. Sixes where my threes should be. I had small ass packages that were under ICs that they had already put in the truck for me. So I already have big ass packages in the truck, though not even the ones that I touched on the side yet. And there were smalls, like small envelopes and packages under these big ass boxes. So I'll get into more detail about that later. But I'm like, there's no fucking way. And I came in early too. My thought process on Thursday, I was like, bet, this is going to be an easy day, one of the easiest days of the week because it's Thursday and Friday. Tuesday are easy. I'm going to come in early. I'm going to be one of the first people to dispatch from the station, and I'm going to be probably one of the first people to get back, or at least I'm going to get back earlier than I normally do. Nope. I still had like 25 ICs to put in the truck, and the truck was packed. The truck was fucking full to the point where there was no space to step over shit. I had to step on big packages. And even then, it got to the point where I was the last one in the station, and I'm still trying to find ways to pack these ICs. And my manager comes over, and like everyone else is gone, and he's just like, "All right, you're just gonna have to start tossing these packages on top of each other because like you have no space, and there's just no way for you to, you're not gonna take anything out to try to repackage it, And I was like, okay. So he just starts throwing shit on top of the shit that I already have in there, and it gets to the point where it legitimately blocks the truck. I mean, it blocks going into the back. So I get to my first stop, and I'm looking for, it's like 2,000s or something, like a 2,500 and a 2,000 or some shit like that. And it's taking me 30 to 45 fucking minutes per stop to try to find one or two packages because they're either hidden under big shit that the package handlers just said fuck you and just threw it under. So I have to go back there in the back, and I'm sweating buckets. Like my shirt is drenched because I'm in the back, and of course the back of the truck is going to be hotter than the front because there's no ventilation back there. I'm in the back, and I have to lift up these big ass packages and toss them to the side, or kick them so that way I can reach in between packages and try to find one and check to see if that's the right SID number. Or it was absolute hell on fucking earth. To give y'all context, there's two parts of the route. And on top of that, another thing I forgot to add, I've said this in previous videos, but we have a route, like our station, or not station, our DP, our DSP, and our contract, our company specifically, we drive the farthest. So we quote unquote have the lightest out of everybody in the station. Like people who are, of course, only 15 to 20 minutes from the station where they start their route, they're going to have 200, 250 plus stops and over 300 some packages because they're in a city. They're in like a town area where the houses are side by side so they can knock out multiple stops. We are an hour away. We are an hour, sometimes an hour and 25 minutes away from our first stop, and our stops are split. So we might have a couple of group stops that are side by side, but then for the most part, the majority of the route, you're going to be driving between 5 to 10 minutes to get to each stop. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you've got several stops, that adds up, right? So it's taken me 30, 45 minutes. And to give y'all context, the first part of my stop is like a little miniature town. Like, it's not like nothing crazy like a big city, but like, I'm driving an hour, finally get there. I don't start, my first package until 11:30 when everyone else got to their stop at like 10:30 or 10 because I was the last one to leave because I had all of my ICs. And normally I finish town around 12 p.m. or something, or like, yeah, 12 p.m., maybe 1 o'clock or some shit like that before I go to the second side of my route. Y'all, I'm still in town and it's 5 p.m. For those who work at FedEx or UPS, y'all just had a heart attack. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I am not even halfway through. I've got, and this, I know this doesn't sound like a lot. And people gonna say, "Oh, well, Tim Sturry, that doesn't sound like a lot. I could do that with one arm." But it's just like, I had, for our station, like, this is huge. Even my manager admitted that, yo, like, your route was the heaviest, like, today in the entire station, more than likely, because, like, this looked like peak season type shit. I had 112 stops and like 210 packages. And normally, that route specifically, like 50 to 60 stops is like a light day. 70 to 80 is considered normal, and anything over 90 is considered crazy. So 112, and then on top of that, having 150 plus packages is normally insane. 200 something packages on that route specifically, like, it's 5 o'clock. It's starting to get dark or darker outside, and I'm still in town. And I've got pickups that I have to go to. So guess what? I have to leave town because I had this one specific pickup, and I hate this fucking pickup. I hate it. I hate this fucking. It's legitimately the only thing about the route other than that bullshit, the bullshit that happens, like busy days like that. It's the only thing that I hate. Is like when you have to go out of your way and stop your day or stop whatever it is you're doing in your flow to go pick up a fucking package, because of the pickup window. And like, I legitimately had to stop in town, and I had to go to a prison, and I had to go pick up some packages. And guess what? Normally they have like an envelope or maybe one or two boxes. Today, on that day, on Thursday, remember, keep in mind, the truck is still jam fucking packed. It looks like, even though I've been in town for 4 hours, like I've only delivered, I think at that time I was at like 45 stops out of 110. It's 5 p.m. and I've still got like easily over 100 something packages to deliver, 150, 160, whatever it is. The truck is it's still jam packed. Like, I can barely move. And the woman comes out from the prison, and she has an entire fucking pallet, of pickups for me. And I look at her, I'm like, "Are you serious?" She said, "You don't have the space?" I'm like, "Absolutely fucking not." I legitimately had to take those boxes and just put them in the front with me and stack them up. I could not see out my right mirror, my two right mirrors, because the packages were in the way. And in order for me to get out the truck to continue delivering, I just had to open up the driver's door, and that shit is like, can jam sometimes, but I had to open up the driver's door because there was no other way for me to, nowhere else for me to put those packages, to put the pickups that I picked up. And I go back into town. And another thing too is crazy. It was raining that day, so it was starting to get cooler. But it was still like humid. And I actually saw an accident. Like, I was waiting at a stop. It was a school that I delivered to, and I was waiting at the school. I mean, I was already delivered to the school when I was waiting to leave it. And it was, like I said, it was raining. And I was like, a guy stops in the middle of the road, obviously, to make a left turn to go into his development. And he's just waiting, and I see another car behind him, like, approaching really fast, and I'm just sitting there, like, I have my hand on my chin. I'm like, that person's gonna crash into the back of them. I said, they're not gonna slow down enough in time. They don't even realize it. Sure enough, 2 seconds later, you hear, "Urgh!" And I'm like, yep, that's exactly what I said. I was talking to myself out loud. I was like, yep, they're about to crash, because there's no way. I was like, yep, she's about to crash, and boom, hit him right in the fucking back, going like 40 or 50. And luckily, his ass, like, he jumped, right? He buckled really heavy, and he swerved a little bit into the left lane. Then he was able to, luckily there was no other cars coming on the left side, so he didn't, get hit into more traffic. But, he just pulled over, she pulled over. I don't know why I did it, because I was already running behind, but I pulled over and just made sure they were both okay and shit like that. And I just kept going. I went back into town. I finally finished in town, and it's 7 p.m. I normally get into town at like 11 or like 10:30. And like I said, normally I get done by 12 or 1 at the latest. So town should only take me 2.5 hours. Town that day took me 5 or 6 fucking hours to do. Another big thing about it too, on that Thursday, I don't know why, even the manager admitted the previous week before. So maybe I should have expected it, but they said that like the system was messed up. You know, FedEx is cheap as fuck. Like all the systems, like they break every single fucking day. Something always wrong. Systems, trucks, something else. But I don't know what happened. But like she was like, "Oh, the system's messing up. Y'all are gonna have sometimes way more stops than you normally do, and most of the time y'all are gonna have stops that are like for other people's route." Because there's somebody else that does the other half of town that I never do. And she was just like, oh, sometimes because the routes are so close together, they get intertwined on the system, on the app or whatever. And the app can't tell the difference between whose packages belong on whose route or not. So it's going to give you the packages and the stops that belong to someone else, right? And yeah, that's another reason why it took me so fucking long that day. Because I had half of the town that didn't belong to me. And normally, like, I know you would think, oh, that's no big deal, right? But first and foremost, like, I'm still relatively brand new. And second of all, like, when you're in such a tight town, Waze or Google Maps, Apple Maps, whatever you use, it cannot, like, track addresses that are already moved or addresses that are like so close together. Like there were businesses that were on the side of a train track that I could not physically get to unless I actually walked to it. Like because we're in a town and you have to parallel park in order to get to a parking spot. I mean to get to a parking spot. Like there was no there are like businesses that are on the side of these buildings that are inaccessible. Like that the scanner's telling me that the address is right here, and I'm like, I cannot find it. Like I'm spending half an hour looking for one fucking business, and I get so desperate that I'm even going on Google Maps on my phone to look up the address and trying to use Street View to see the building that I'm looking for, and even then it wouldn't show me. And I'm just like, where am I going? Like where I cannot find it. There was another place. It was like a sporting goods place or a sporting supply place. I was looking for that shit for like 25 minutes straight trying to find it. The scanner kept on taking me in circles and telling me that it was right here. Apparently the address had moved a year ago and it was in the same development, but it was on the other side. So y'all, that day was by far the worst day I ever had. Like my manager called me and asked me was I all right. They were like, you still got a whole bunch of stops left. And another thing too that pissed me off, why the fuck the manager gonna call me when it's too late? They'll call me at like 6 or 7 and ask me if I'm okay, and obviously everybody else has been done. I'm not even halfway done. It's getting dark outside, but you're gonna call me and ask me if I'm okay, as if that's gonna do anything for me. Like, is it like, oh, you know, thanks for the mental support? Like, you should have called me at 3 or 4 o'clock. Like, what the hell? But it's 7 o'clock. Manager calls me, asks me, "Are you good? It's about to get dark outside. You're not even halfway done, and you still got the other side of your route to do." And I was just like, I told him, I was like, yo, I've been completely lost today. Had to dig through packages, take me 20 or 30 minutes per stop to find one package because I have to lift up all this shit. There's no space in the truck whatsoever. I can't even get to the back door to open up the door to take off ICs and shit like that. So I have to skip around and try to find stops that are closer to the front of the truck. And like, yo, like I'm getting lost trying to find these buildings or businesses that I've never been to before because they're not originally on the route that I've normally been doing for these past weeks. And yeah, so eventually, y'all, it gets to the point where it's like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. I'm still out there, pitch black, headlights barely fucking work. They are dim as shit. I mean, they wouldn't light up nothing. You'd be better off just using your phone flashlight and then taping that bitch to the front of the truck and turning that shit on, then using the headlights on those fucking trucks. He eventually calls me, right? I still got like 25 stops left. And he's just like, yeah, come on back. He's like, it's too fucking dark. I don't want you out there late at night. It's too dangerous. You know, people gonna start wondering who the hell's rolling up in their house at that time of night. Just come on back. And remember, I still got an hour drive back. So I got 25 packages. 25 stops over 30 packages left. And I'm driving back. I don't say nothing. I'm quiet the whole time back. I listen to music or some shit like that. I don't say a fucking word. It's quiet as hell. I'm dozing off because I'm so damn tired. And that's it. You know, I get back to the station. I have to, and I'm still not done, obviously. I don't get back to the station until, I think I said it was like, 9:30. So I don't think I'll get back to the station until like 10:30, 10:45. I don't end up leaving the station until 11 something. because I still need to remove all the SID numbers and stickers off the packages and scan all of them so they are out of the system so the package handlers can rescan them for tomorrow. And that's the worst part about when shit like that happens. When you have to come back with a whole bunch of packages, those packages just don't disappear. Like, they're going to go on your route the next day. And Friday was meant to be a lighter day. I was meant to only have like, I think 85 stops, which is still heavier on that route, but ended up having 105 because, or no, it ended up having like 115 or something because I had those 30 stops. 30 packages that I didn't deliver the previous day. But I was able to finish that because that was fine because I didn't have nearly as many big ICs as I did on Thursday, and I could actually move in the truck, and I didn't have any of the addresses that I was getting lost at or the businesses that I have never went to before. It was a quote unquote normal day, I guess you could say, with just way more stops. And yeah, that was my day, y'all. That was I just wanted to share that with you. That was my worst day so far at FedEx. I legitimately quit like 5 times in that day. Like, there were times that I'm surprised my managers didn't call me about that. Like, there were times that I legitimately sat in the parking lot and just stared out into the void. And it was raining. I had the fan on me. It was like a core memory that I'll never forget. I was just staring, had the fan on me, and like I had no music playing, and I'm just staring out into an open fucking field. Because like I said, we're in the country. I'm just staring out into an open fucking field. At the end of my route, I'm just staring. And I did that for like probably 30 minutes to an hour in total. The amount of times I pulled over to the side of the road and just sat there because I was just like, I'm done. The amount of times I said that shit, I was like, I'm done. I was like, I'm tired of this, bro. Like, there's some new bullshit every day. And that's one thing about FedEx. Every day that you come in, or every week, I always tell myself, okay, you just experienced the worst thing that you could ever fucking experience at this job. If you got through that, there ain't shit that you can't handle. Nothing's going to be worse than that. And then not even the next week, the next day, you come in and it's something even worse. And you're like, how the fuck is that possible? How does that even happen? But yeah, y'all, that was it. That was it. And, Friday, my manager, when he called me on my way back to the station on Thursday, he was just like, yeah, I want you to come back. It's getting too late, too dangerous. You'll just handle it tomorrow. And I was like, yeah, okay. And I got home on Thursday, and when I finally hopped in the shower, I didn't even eat. I didn't even eat on Thursday because by the time I got home, I still got a 45-minute drive from my house to the station. So I got home at like 12:30, almost 1 o'clock. By the time I hop in the shower, it's 1 o'clock, 1:30, and I have to be back by like 7:30 in the morning. I didn't even eat. I just immediately hopped in the shower and got straight to the bed. And I debated so hard if I was going to come in on Friday, like, because I've never called out this job. And most people that work there, shit, they might call out once a week. FedEx is so desperate. Like, if you have to really fuck up to get fired. Like, people be calling out. We have like 4 call outs at once in one day, and that happens like every other week. So, like, I've never called out yet, and I was really about to use that. I was dead ass thinking. I was just like, because when I woke up on Friday, I sat up out of my bed after my alarm went off, and I stared at the wall. I just stared at the wall for like 5 or 10 minutes, like a crazy motherfucker in a straitjacket. And I thought to myself, do I really want to get up right now? I was like, no, do I really want to move? Like, I can call them right now. All I have to say is I'm sick. All I have to say is that I don't feel like coming. Oh, I wouldn't say that. All I have to say is I'm sick. All I have to say is something happened. Family emergency. Lie. Say something happened that I can't come in. Whatever. And they would believe me. And I'll be like, that's it, bro. But I was like, nah. Like, I don't know. I did it. I don't know why. I don't know why I did it, but I was like, fuck it. I'm going to go in Friday. Who gives a fuck? I need to clean up my mess. That's what I told myself. I'm going to be the mature adult. I need to clean up my mess. I can't leave it for someone else, because if I don't come in, they're just going to have to take the route and give it to someone else who probably already has a lot of shit on their own plate. And yeah, that was my craziest day, y'all. Let me know down in the comments below what your craziest day at FedEx has been, and I might leave a link if y'all want it. Let me know in the comments. I might leave a link to the Reddit post. Like I said, there's over like 150 or 130 something comments on that Reddit post. People just telling about their worst experiences when it comes to this damn company, and that is it, y'all. So I'm gonna go to sleep now and cry because I have to go to work tomorrow. But bye bye for now.